Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on the first season of the HBO series Girls. Now, as you know, Girls from the first season first started in April the 15th all the way to June the 17th, 2012, which was written and created and starred Lena Dunham as the main character Hannah. Now, Lena Dunham, I actually heard her voice and first seen her back when she was originally the voice of Betty in Adventure Time. And yeah, Lena Dunham, in my opinion, is a controversial mess. And anything she says when she defends girls is clear that she's trying to defend her work without seeing any consequences to her problems. And after spending 2 days watching the first season, I would say it's alright, but it's not really going to go bigger than what it should have been. So the premise of season 1 is meant to feature Hannah after her parents cut her off and after basically stupidly losing her internship when she tries to demand a full paid work. We see her living with her best friend Marlene, who is kind of the voice of reason to Hannah and does kind of disapprove of some of her actions. And throughout the show, we are introduced to Jessa, who is meant to be a global citizen of British origin, and is meant to be more of the wild card. Shoshona, who is basically the bubble-headed one, but more kind of the good-hearted one. And throughout the show, we do kind of see how they play the roles in their life for the first season. Like, we kind of see how Hannah kind of tries to get a job, but kind of acts irresponsible or doesn't really think through her actions. We kind of see how Marlene has a difficult relationship with Charlie, and you can kind of tell Charlie is justifiably a bit annoyed. We kind of see how Jessa ends up falling with one of her clients' husbands after babysitting the kids, and Shoshona just being there in the sidelines. So really, the first season is just mostly showing the day-to-day life of Hannah and her friends. And I think the series really does try to cover how, yeah, sometimes when you go out into a new town or area, you are going to find other workplaces to do, find other potential jobs, and trying to live with your friends' roommates, and so on. I think there is a good idea about self-independence, but at the same time, I kind of feel Hannah's friends could have been handled a bit better. Like, I kind of feel Marlene could have took Hannah in after learning about her parents cutting her off, and maybe have it that Marlene is unsure of her relationship with Charlie. I mean, you could have even added in a black and Asian friend to diverse the cast. But no, it's just kind of Lena Dunham making her sort of all-white main cast. And I think for the most part, I would say there are moments where you can tell the writers really wanted to have Hannah break up with her boyfriend Adam. And you can kind of tell Adam is kind of a bad influence, because it seems like they wanted her to break up with him quickly, but they just kind of latch it on. And I get it, like, coming back together and that. And I think there's moments where I think the first season does go a bit too over the top with the sex scenes, because it seems like any time a character goes into an argument, they just kind of end up doing it. And I kind of feel when Jessa does get married to a character called Thomas Joan in episode 10, it never really fitted her character. Like, it was kind of clear she was just kind of put off by Thomas Joan's childish behaviour, and even kind of got roped into the shenanigans. Now, personally, I feel if I was to make the first season of Girls, I would have had it that Hannah ends up losing her job, and even have it that she wants to become a writer. Also have it that Marlene takes Hannah in to become a friend and help kind of with her book, and at the same time offering her a job with her. You could have even have had it that Jesser comes back to New York to look for another potential job, and even looking for a potential sugar daddy to help cover her. And you could have even have had shown her be kind of the more tech girl and have her reimagined them being Asian American, which really could have worked. And I kind of feel like as well, you could have even have had it as well when Hannah does try to get her book published, maybe have it that she has some self-doubt. This is just how I would have done the first season. I think the thing about making a main cast, you want to make sure they're diverse to show that, yeah, sometimes in friendships, you are going to have friends from different backgrounds, roots, and cultures. It's important to be more diverse. And I kind of feel, well, Hannah can be irresponsible, like joking with one of her interviewers about a kind of inappropriate joke that did cost her interview. Or you can kind of tell when she does kind of want to change her last minute essay, she kind of changes it. And it does seem like there is some awkwardness, like when one character mentions the show to catch a pedophile and being sorry for what Chris Hansen does to the people, even though what Chris Hansen does is to show that there are just sick people out there. And I kind of feel when when Hannah does come back and they're doing this kind of fundraiser for a sort of lost friend, they have this kind of inappropriate sort of dance thing, even though they should have just had a professional singer. I think, to me, the first season of Girls is a wasted potential, but there is some good ideas about independence, finding your own place in the world, but it just becomes Lena Dunham's own personal fantasy. I think the point about making a series, you want your characters to be relatable. You want them to show that they can go the distance despite what people say. So I think this series definitely deserves a thumbs down. It's not good, not great, but really there is some potential there. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.